Hi there. Welcome back to the Make Time for Success podcast. This is episode number 42. In this episode, I'm going to share with you 5 mindset shifts. What are mindset shifts, you might ask? I think mindset shifts are ways that we can use our minds and our hearts to transform a situation. And my goal is to give you these tools, these mindset shifts, so that the next time you face something that is difficult, challenging, frustrating, scary, or complex, you feel like you know what to do. You know how to perceive the situation, you know how to cope with the feelings, and you know how to get through to the finish line. I'm excited to share these 5 mindset shifts that have been so effective for me and for my clients in this episode. Now, let's go listen. Hi, I'm Dr. Christine Lee, and I'm a psychologist and a procrastination coach. I've helped thousands of people move past procrastination and overwhelm so they could begin working to their potential. In this podcast, you're going to learn powerful strategies for getting your mind, body, and energy to work together so that you can focus on what's really important and accomplish the goals you want to achieve. When you start living within your full power, you're going to see how being productive can be easy and how you can create success on demand. Welcome to the Make Time for Success podcast. Hi, everyone. I would like to talk today about some success shifts that I think would be good for you to make. I think it's really easy to slip into a state of overwhelm. We're in COVID times still. We've got more things to do than we have time for, more things to do than we can count. We have people relying on us. We have standards to keep up with and to uphold. And sometimes we have to fight the urge to nap or to just turn on the TV or just run away from it all. So I wanted to come in here and give you some help, give you some relief, and to support you as you make it through this period of time in your life. I want to share with you some ideas about how to shift that feeling of pressure that you might be feeling. And we're going to shift you away from overwhelm into a more stable and stronger state, one where you feel like you can be centered and you can be clear and effective, no matter how many different things you have staring at you on your to-do list. The good news is that I have 5 things to share with you, these 5 mindset shifts. But what's even better than that is that these shifts don't require any heavy lifting. In fact, they're going to make you feel like your load is a whole lot lighter than it used to feel. That just by shifting the way you think and perceive things, that you can actually take on the world a little bit better. So let's start. The first shift that I would like you to think about is to begin thinking that anything is possible for you. And you heard me right, absolutely anything. You have spent far too long looking at your limiting beliefs and turning them into roadblocks, little roadblocks, medium-sized roadblocks, and huge ones. And that self-doubt has been around so long that you feel like it's actually real. You feel that these roadblocks are actual things in your way. And when you really look at what you're facing, I want you to do this as an exercise right now or after you turn off this episode. Look at what you're facing and perceiving as a roadblock. And I guarantee you, you're going to figure out a way to get through. You're going to get a way to reconceive that thing in your way and decide that this is a temporary obstacle, that this may actually not be an obstacle at all. It might be just an old story that you're carrying along with you into the present moment. For instance, thinking, oh, I don't have what it takes to get up on that stage and wow an audience. That's an old thought. You could wow an audience at any moment, but you need that self-belief that you're that person who can do that. You need to change your mindset about yourself before you can make those roadblocks disappear. So make that first mind shift of believing that anything is possible for you if you want it for yourself. Shift number 2 that I would love for you to make is that I want you to start operating from a place of love instead of fear. And by that, I mean, start from filling your heart with love for the people that you're helping, love for yourself, love for the work that is in front of you, and do all that loving work. Instead of looking at your work, looking at the people you have to meet, looking at all the responsibilities that you have on your plate, and filling your heart with dread, fear, frustration, terror, anger, even all of those negative feelings are preventing you from really taking on the challenge of something new. They're preventing you from creating something new and putting it out to the world without trembling, without thinking you're going to get criticized or shot down. So I want you to start again from this place of confidence and love for yourself, love for your creativity and your potential and your ideas, and love for the person who's going to receive your work, and love for the people that you might help with your work. When you start from that place of love, there's a whole lot less to be worried about. And you have a whole lot more fun creating the work, producing that work, getting those chores done. And that makes the time fly by in a good way, where the work gets done much more easily and you don't waste all this precious time thinking that something terrible is going to happen to you. So stop looking for the things that are lurking behind the wall and stop telling yourself negative stories about you and your talents, because you're so talented. You got to fulfill that potential instead of quaking in your boots and thinking that things are going to collapse soon. Okay. So let's go. Now we're going to go to shift number 3. This is a good one. Allow it to be easy. Allow everything to be easy. I think in my own experience, it's through going through regular schooling, elementary, middle school, high school, etc., that we pick up the philosophy that if you're going to be doing good work, it has to be knock down, drag out hard. Somehow we have to suffer. We have to lose sleep. We have to rack our brains for the good ideas. I know that I picked that up somewhere in school, and maybe you did too. But I also learned that we can shift even what we've learned in school. I'll give you another story, and we're going to need to go all the way back to Christine Lee in 6th grade in Mr. Solomon's English class, where we learned how to use an outline to write. And I remember thinking, what the heck is this? So forgive my language here, but I think I needed to use that language to emphasize how confused I was. I really didn't understand what outlining was for. I didn't understand why all of a sudden learning something new was causing me difficulty, because I had been pretty good at learning all the way up through to 6th grade, that moment when we were learning outlining. And I was also wondering, why are we using Roman numerals? Who uses Roman numerals to do anything? So that whole period of time was kind of the beginning for me of thinking, everything's a struggle. Everything is kind of not obvious. Everything is going to be work. But fortunately for me, many years later, I realized that I was just not someone who connected with outlining, and that I could really write just by sticking with my natural ideas, not necessarily going with a rigid structure that was predetermined, and that I could just write in a somewhat non-traditional way, if you're going to even call what I do non-traditional. I just decided I was going to relax and try to write well and clearly and purposefully instead of thinking that I wasn't a good writer. So that helped me to allow writing to be easy. And I'm giving you that example because maybe you've got something in your life that you were taught by someone or that you picked up somewhere, and it's now time, because you're an adult and because you can think for yourself, to rework those old thoughts or that old system that you've dragged into the present moment. Maybe it's some thought about how difficult it needs to be to make money, about how difficult it is to get through your laundry. Or maybe you have a thought about how much you can achieve in your life based on what maybe a parent or someone who was an authority figure indicated about you long ago. So feel free to think bigger about yourself and feel free to allow your work and your release of your work to be easier. Remember, it can even be super easy, and don't doubt yourself when you realize, oh, I got this. I don't need an outline. I have this down pat and I'm confident about it. Don't doubt yourself when you realize, oh, I don't have to suffer, because those are beautiful moments. Okay, on to mindset shift number 4. Give yourself some space. We are oftentimes pressured in our heads. We're cramped in our houses and our cars. We are feeling overwhelmed by all the energy that we're spending to get through the day, and we're just feeling spent. So I just want to remind you that we are not overstuffed storage lockers. So don't treat yourself like a storage locker, and stop stuffing yourself with stuff and stop getting overwhelmed by all the things. Start cleaning out the space in your heart, the space in your mind, the space in your home, and the space in your calendar. We are creative. We are amazing. We are brilliant, miraculous thinkers, feelers, doers, and beings. So we need to have the room, literally and figuratively, to function at our best on a day-to-day basis. It is not an accident when you get to be a high performer. It is on purpose that you've created space in your energy to release powerful energy without being embarrassed, without being tripped up by clutter, without being overscheduled or double booked. It's a purposeful activity. So make that mindset shift of giving yourself some space. Start today. I know you can do it. You can toss a magazine. You can cancel an appointment. You can get out of a meeting a few minutes early. Allow yourself to give yourself that beautiful, beautiful white space. They call it white space when it's just yummy and we have time to do what we need to do, to rest, to reflect, to think about the ideas that are coming through to us in that beautiful empty space. Know that overwhelm, when we feel all that pressure, is something that might be a layer of your experience, but it's not an essential piece of going through the day. Know that you can treat it like a layer of dead skin and just molt it. Just get rid of it. Just decide, I'm not going to make the space for more overwhelm anymore. I'm going to make more space for me. Okay, finally, we're up to mindset shift number 5. I would love for you to fall in love with uncertainty. Now, this may sound like the most terrifying one of all. And I think that's good, because I would love for you to become more risk friendly. I want you to invite new opportunities. I want you to pretend like this new thing that you're trying out, it's like a new friend. It's like dating someone who's totally not your typical type. It's exciting and a little bit scary at the same time. I just want you to get good at tolerating newness, fear, people and things that you've never met before or tried before, food that you've never tried before, things that don't operate like you're used to operating. You get to borrow that energy of stuff that's new and you get to explore. So instead of being terrified about everything that's coming your way and things that you don't know about yet, train yourself to take the best of everything that happens to you and everything that comes your way. It's a great way of developing a feeling of resilience that you can handle anything, and also of getting really good at adapting to things and facing any and all challenges that might happen to you. And by the way, when you get good at these skills, you start feeling like you really got this, that things aren't really that challenging. Or if they do feel that way initially, you're not daunted anymore. You're just saying, oh, this is just going to take a little more time and energy, but I've got this. So to summarize, I would love for you to take on one or all of these mindset shifts. To remind you what they are, the first one is to think that everything is possible for you. It is all potentiality. Mindset shift number 2, operate from love instead of fear. I think this is the one that is the most doable in a way because it's a switch of our feelings about what's right in front of us. Mindset shift number 3 is to allow things to be easy. Give yourself that gift of making that particular mindset shift. It's a lot of fun. Mindset shift number 4 is to give yourself more space. Again, that is something that you can do just by tidying your desk, just by talking to someone about what you really have been wanting but haven't been able to say. There's so many different ways you can give yourself more space. And finally, the last one is get comfortable with uncertainty and what has yet to come into your life. Get comfortable with reality, with whatever comes, and with playing with your life instead of having everything be like a pressure cooker. I don't want that for you anymore. And I don't think you want that for yourself either. So thanks for listening to this episode on success shifts that you can make in the very near future. As always, I would love to hear your reactions to what I'm producing on this show and inside these episodes. So just send me a DM, a direct message to Procrastination Coach to reach me directly on either Facebook or Instagram. And I would love to hear your thoughts. And as always, I would also love it if you shared a 5-star review for the show as well. Make Time for Success is growing. I have so many beautiful ideas for future episodes and future guest features. And if you shared a 5-star review of the show, it will certainly help the show to get in front of more new listeners. And I would love that. I would so appreciate your help in getting the show out to new people. I will see you next week. The new episode drops Thursday. And in my next episode, we're going to be tackling the topic of betrayal with my special guest expert, Debbie Silber. See you then. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Make Time for Success podcast. If you enjoyed what you've heard, you can subscribe to make sure you get notified of upcoming episodes. You can also visit our website, maketimeforsuccesspodcast.com, for past episodes, show notes, and all the resources we mention on the show. Feel free to connect with me over on Instagram too. You can find me there under the name Procrastination Coach. Send me a DM and let me know what your thoughts are about the episodes you've been listening to. And let me know any topics that you might like me to talk about on the show. I'd love to hear all about how you're making time for success. Talk to you soon.